strange thing. I spent a lot of time growing up down in Mississippi, and one of the guys that had a large influence on me, he learned how to play guitar from a blues legend named Son House.
Okay.
And he said, before I moved to Nashville, he said, "I want to tell you what Son told me." He said, "You need a blues name, but I'm not going to give it to you. One day somebody's going to give you a blues name and your whole world's going to make sense." So fast forward to 2012. This is like 15 years after this conversation. I've forgotten all about it. And I'm out on the road with a country artist, John Berry.
John Berry.
Yeah, was out on the road with him. Absolutely, great singer, one of the best singers on the planet. But I'm out on the road with him, and his bass player is kind of big in the blues world. I was sitting on stage, they were focusing lights, I was being a prop for John and playing a resonator on the stage, and the bass player walked by and he said, "You need a blues name," just like the guy said all the years ago. And he said, "We'll call you Mudbone." And it was like everything made sense. It was like a supernova in the head, explosion of thought. And I immediately got up and I went to the bus and I started writing a book. I thought it was a concept album on the progression of American music, from Irish music and African music as separate things, and how they came into the country and combined with one another. And that's pretty much what the whole 20th century sounded like, was those two forms of music combining with one another.
Look at him. I'm impressed. Yeah.
Just one word.
Yeah.
It took that one word. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I can see you pretty well. There's a lot to see you behind. You know, what's all this?
You know, I don't know. I've just always been a facial hair guy. I think it's mostly because I don't have a chin.
You really don't?
Well, I do. It's just very, it's kind of a negative chin, I think.
Well, it works. I mean, I think it goes with the name. Everything's just making sense all of a sudden.
Perfect.
You know, I know you were digging that sound.
I am. I love the percussion you play as you strum, and it's just everything together is just captivating.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you very much.
The words are well chosen. And what is it that you want to have an audience feel when they come to one of your performances? What is it that you want them to take away?
Well, I feel there are two things. Where we're at today socially, there's so much division and polarization going on. I think if we focus on the commonalities, music being the greatest one that we have, there's a healing in that, and I would love for folks to feel that. But also with music these days, there's a disconnect. Music is it's the background noise, it's the wallpaper. Used to, you'd bring home a record and you'd put it on and it was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and you heard it for the first time and it changed your life. Or it was a Merle Haggard record that, you know, you really felt the meaning in a lot of the words. And people just don't listen to music like that anymore. So I think if you re-educated and reconnected people with the roots of where their music comes from, I think it'll help with that.
Yeah.
I started to say, because if you just don't have it in the background, you're doing something else, but you stop and you listen, it takes you away. Right. It just takes you to where the song's at and what you're doing in the song.
Yeah. And story songs. I've always been a fan of story songs. So,
Rope. Love Rope.
Thank you.
That's a great song.
We got a lot of preachers going, what do you say? What are you trying to say right now, Julie? What are you
When I wrote that, I didn't expect people to really relate to that song. Relatability was the last thing I was thinking that would happen, but everybody wants to come tell me their crooked preacher story. So it's a new thing. Are you doing what you want to do? Is there more? What's your journey? Where are you supposed to be? You know, I've been in Nashville. I spent 15 years as a guitarist for other artists, and I kind of had to make a decision to stop doing that.
You got to come to that point because you're so good.
Well, I wanted to get out and start singing songs that I've written, and I built up over that time. I built up a pretty decent catalog, and I got an opportunity to record an album, which is going to be out later this year.
How can folks?
How can they find you?
Well, I'm on the Facebooks right now.
Under your name, or
you type Mudbone, you might find it. You might find it. It's in there too. So.
Good deal.
So yeah, that's how
people
find
it was a joy to watch, to listen to, and then to speak to you. There's a lot of heart and soul there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Pleasure.
Yeah, you as well.